Okay, welcome everybody. Really appreciate you joining us this afternoon. I am the Dean. My name is Dr. Mark Ember. I'm the Dean of the College of Adult Professional Studies program, and I have two other esteemed colleagues that are here with us. They'll introduce themselves also as we go here as they talk. Let me just give you a quick overview of what the College of Adult Professional Studies is, and then we'll expound on that as we proceed here. But this program actually started, and Professor Britt, who's here with us, he helped build this program from the very beginning. But it started back, and I'm going to guess at this date, I should know this, but it's 2008-ish, we had an evening college back in the early 2000s and up until that time. And it was really a program that was designed for working adults that couldn't take off work during the daytime to attend classes, but could come in the evenings and weekends. And that developed into our online program. And so Charleston Southern University, particularly the College of Adult Professional Studies, has been in the online business for quite a while, for 10 or 12 years, with various degrees. And so in this time that we're in right now, which is a very challenging time, and most all universities throughout the world are going to online instruction, our program and our degrees are nothing changes for us. We continue on just as we have. And so I'll let the others tell you about the degrees we have. But in this department, we have 9 degrees, 5 undergraduate, 5 graduate management degrees. And one thing before I stop talking, I'm very, very proud of the fact that not only do we have an online program, but we have one of the very best, not just locally. We're ranked number 11 in the entire country, U.S. News World Report. Those rankings just came out recently. And that ranking isn't easy to come by. It means, what that means for you as the student is it is a top quality, a very high quality, and that's for our undergraduate bachelor's programs. It goes through a rigorous review process for those rankings. And if you look at the rankings, you'll see some very large universities across America are the only ones that are a little bit ahead of us, and we're going to catch them. But we're also ranked as the top online bachelor's program in the state of South Carolina. So you as a student that are coming in should just feel comforted that you're entering into a program that's accredited, of course, but just rated very, very high, that you're getting a quality education that's going to help you advance your skill set and your knowledge and your careers ultimately. With that, David, do you want to add to the history and sort of what our degrees are?
Thanks, Dr. Embler. As Dr. Embler mentioned, I've been a professor in the program now. I'm starting my 12th year. And so I've seen a lot of different things, particularly at the university, but even more globally in the area of online education. And I was on the design team for our master's program and also on the redesign team for our bachelor's program. And one of the things that we really wanted to focus on was and we have this saying, learn it today, use it tomorrow. And so not only do we have faculty members who are credentialed to teach in an academic setting, they're also practitioners in the disciplines that they teach. And so if you take project management courses, if you take supply chain courses, or you take general management courses, you're going to be learning from people who are in that discipline. So not only do they have the academic credentials, but they also have practical experience. And so we want to focus on application because many of our students are working adult students and currently in the workplace. And it's important for you to be able to understand and to learn some concept today and then put it into practice when you walk into the job tomorrow. And that's very important for us. And so we focus on several different degrees. Our undergraduate degrees are in very practical disciplines. We have one in organizational management. We have one in hospitality and tourism, project management, supply chain, healthcare management, and human resources. And I think I mentioned supply chain project management already. And then our master's programs we have in data analytics, in project management, in supply chain, and in just a general management type of degree. And we do these because, again, these are what the industry is looking for. So when we design these programs, not only did we just look at it from an academic perspective, because we have to be accredited, but we also went out and talked to industry leaders and said, what are you looking for when you go out and hire people? What are the things that you see that they need, not just competencies, but also the cultural components on how to get along with other people in the workplace? And so we pulled all those things together, and we have students tell us all the time that the things that we are talking about every day are things that they use on the job when they get back. And so that's very, very important to us. And so from a faculty perspective, we're very committed to making sure that when we design these courses, we also execute them the same way. And so we're very connected with our students in an online format, and we utilize many different learning tools that are available to us today. So Dr. Imbler, hopefully that provides a good overview of the program and how we approach things.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. And again, he mentioned that how our faculty are practitioners. And Professor Britt, I'm just going to ask you to kind of be an example. And if you will just mention about your background and what you bring to the classroom from a practitioner standpoint, what kind of work did you do in the past?
Well, I spent 25 years in management in consumer packaged goods. I worked for the Gatorade division of the Quaker Oats Company as a director of trade marketing. I worked as the senior vice president and head of North American sales for Conagra Foods. I managed the $2 billion sales organization and for Conagra and about 500-600 people. I did that for several years. My wife and I became small business owners. We bought a boutique hotel and fine dining restaurant that we did for a few years. And then I went into vocational ministry and helped churches with human resource process and financial process. And then the last step in my career here for the last 12 years has been in higher education. And so I feel really fortunate to be able to utilize the principles that I learned and used over many years of business experience now in the classroom. And my story is not unique here. If you talk to my colleagues, you're going to get similar stories with similar backgrounds in those disciplines. And so it's, again, as I mentioned earlier, we want to focus on applying the things, and our experience helps us do
that. And I often say this, and he kind of brushes it off, but Professor Britt, he also is, he won an award, and I don't know exactly the name of the award, but he was the online professor of the year in the United States. And and I would put him up against any instructor in the United States as an online professor, because in online instruction, it's challenging because, a lot of students are accustomed to being in a classroom and having a professor stand in front of them. We believe in this department, in the College of Adult Professional Studies, that we can bring that classroom to you. And he is a great example of how he does that. In fact, a lot of his students, Professor Britt travels a lot. So each week, they can't wait to open up the course to just see, well, where's he at today? Where's he at today? And he may be in Dubai, and he will bring the lesson for that week. He'll draw it into that part of the country, and so it's really exciting. And so the classroom comes alive. So we believe that online instruction can be exciting. It can, you definitely will have the same learning outcomes and objectives. Our objectives we want you to meet at the beginning, that you will learn that. And that's really, really important. So even in an online format, we believe it can be just as good, if not better, than a classroom. So we're really very proud to have him on our faculty as an instructor. And like he said, you would, in this program, you'll meet other professors that have really exciting backgrounds that can bring to you, and you learn from really great practitioners. Ms. Willard, I'm going to bring you in right here and ask you a question, if you would address. One thing that we do is we mentioned that we have 9 degree programs. Mm-hmm. We're adding another degree, a couple more degrees in the fall. But as the program development manager, she is heavily involved with new programming and looking to what we can add to our degrees that would, and we try not to just add a degree just sort of, for a better term, the flavor of the day. We try to add degrees that are needed in the community, needed for students,
right,
that will help them advance their careers. So, Lauren, if you would just kind of tell us how we do that. How do we identify a new program? And once we do, how do we build it?
Sure. Yeah. So we do a lot of market research to figure out what degrees are best for locally and regionally. For example, our supply chain management degree is a degree that we developed last year because we saw a need for people working at Boeing and these big manufacturing companies to that are degree seeking to get a higher degree and maybe get a raise at their job, or pursue a career in Charleston that looks like that. And so we take a lot of things into account as we build new programs, and our subject matter experts are really great at continuously bringing new degrees to our attention and saying, you know what, like, why not CSU? Why don't we have this program? We're competitive. We're in a competitive marketplace, and our students, deserve competitive degrees. And so what we've been doing is just looking at what are the needs in the marketplace today. Like computer science and computer security is something that is really rising right now. So maybe we'll look into that degree. So it really just depends, but we are ever searching for the best programs out there. And once a program is picked to be developed, we go through a whole progress of just vetting other programs, seeing how we can make our program the best there is to offer. And Dr. Imler, do you have anything to add to that? I don't know if you want me to go through the program development process or anything like that, because it's just a surface level conversation, but anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think that was a really good overview, and of just how we do, we try to look for what programs that are needed. We feel like we have a really good offering with the 9, soon to be 10 degrees that we have now. But there's always, things change. And that's another thing that Ms. Willard is very involved in, is changes. So, she mentioned supply chain. Well, supply chain, that industry, it changes frequently. I mean, what is going through right now with this coronavirus is that, logistics, I mean, it's ever changing of how they're having to ramp up their bit. So what we try to do is stay on that cutting edge, because if we just kept our courses the same from 5 years ago, they would be so outdated. So we constantly look at the courses, see what changes need to be made, whether it be in a textbook or just instruction. So we're constantly, she's heavily involved in that process.
And what's to add to that, Dr. Imler, is we're always looking for ways to not only improve our program, but add to the students' value within our program. For example, our HR, our human resources online degree, we have just gotten a certification. So once the students goes through our HR program, they'll now be, correct me if I'm wrong, but certified with the SHRM, I guess, operations
right.
program. So we're always looking for ways for our students to get the most value out of our programs in their specific degree. So whatever that looks like, we're always trying to find new ways for the students to not only gain an education, but be prepared in the workplace as soon as they get out of school.
Right. Yeah. Another couple things I'll mention is a lot of our students, most of our students are adults that are coming back to school. And that's frightening to some. It's exciting. There's a lot of emotions that go with it. But what we try to do is to make that whole process not very difficult. And let me explain what I mean. So from the very beginning, let's say that you're watching this and you say, you know what, I'd like to learn a little bit more about this. Dig a little bit deeper, and we'll give you our contact information so that you can do that. But we have people from the very beginning, from our enrollment team to our advising team up to the professors in the classes. We try to sort of, for a better term, hold your hand and walk you through that process, because really at the end, it's not a very scary process. And getting back into the swing of academia, you'd be surprised how quickly you'll catch back up if you haven't been in school a while. Some of our students are coming straight from, they've been in an academic program straight in. So we have students all over, but you'll be in classes and be in the process with others just like you. So don't let it be, don't be afraid of it. We'll take care of you and walk you through the process, including things like financial aid. We just try to make it a seamless, very simple, easy process for you up until the time you get into class. I don't think, Lauren, we need to go through the actual development. But what else does either of you have to add that I'm missing?
Dr. Embler, I'd just like to mention, we like to think of things in groups, and if you look at this degree as a three-legged stool, with one of the legs being quality, we talked about that with our rankings. We talked about connection that you have throughout the program getting started. We understand where you're coming from. And the third leg of the stool for us is speed. And speed, not from a lack of quality perspective, but we know in talking to adult students that they value speed. And that is, they want to be able to get in, have the credits that they have already gotten maybe at a different college. We provide connections with those as well. And the other component is we develop 7-week courses. So our courses are 7 weeks in length. And that gives us the ability to have what we call subterms. So you have 6 7-week subterms in a year. So you can complete this high quality degree in a much more accelerated format than you can, and maybe what you were thinking about doing. Now, when I say speed in 7 weeks, that doesn't mean that this is easier. It just means that we combine things into a logical 7-week format that is, again, a high quality component. So in talking to adult students, we realize that time is of the essence. You're doing a lot of other things, and speed is important, and that's how we address that particular concept.
Yeah, that's very, very good point. Because as I'm also a graduate advisor, and so as I talk to students, a couple of things they always look for is how quickly can I get through this program? The same with in the undergraduate program, and the answer to that is a lot of that's up to you. It's very flexible. As Professor Brett indicated, there's 6 subterms per year, and that means that you can start at any time. So we have a spring 1, spring 2 that we're in right now, then a summer 1 starting in May, summer 2, fall 1, fall 2. So you can jump in there and start at any of those 6 points. So it's very flexible. As an advisor, we will talk to you about how many courses that you want to take, how many you need to take, and we'll help you with that. All of our classes are built what we call time on task, meaning all of the classes will, give or take, require about the same time commitment. So after you take a class or two, you're going to go, I feel comfortable taking this many classes or that many classes. But it's very flexible, and it's kind of built around your schedule, and you know how busy you are and what's going on in your life, and we try to help you and guide you through that process so you're not overloaded, but at the same time you can go at a speed that's comfortable for you. And I think that a lot of students like that flexibility part of it.
I just got a 5-minute warning, you guys. Just wanted to let you know. Okay.
So we just have a few minutes to wrap this up. And one thing I want to make sure that you guys are aware of how to get in contact with us. And so, Ms. Willard, do you know, I can give my telephone number and contact information, but is there what is the main line to our CAPS program?
Well, you can email online at csuniv.edu, and that is our main email page that goes to all of us. So if you have any questions, you can always email us on the online at csuniv.edu email, or our main number is just 843-863, I want to say 7000. But if it's not, you can always call me at 7409. And we will always, direct your call where it can.
And I'll give you my direct line as well. That is 843-863-7131. Again, it's 843-863-7131. And I welcome you to call me directly. Like Ms. Willard said, I will help you find the right place to go. I promise you that. Professor Brett, do you have any closing remarks to make?
No, I just, again, want to encourage people, if you have any questions, we are a really open book. So make sure that you contact them, contact me. They can give you my number and connection if you want to talk to a professor about how this practically works as well.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. We're here ready and waiting for you to join us to finish that degree, to earn your degree, and we'll be glad to help you walk through the steps. So have a great day, and I appreciate you joining us during this time.